Ladies and gentlemen, life is a mirror. What you see in it depends on how you choose to look at it. Your perspective, how you view the world around you, has the power to shape your reality in ways you can hardly imagine. Today, I'm going to show you how changing your perspective can change your life dramatically, profoundly, and permanently. But here's the thing, perspective isn't just a nice thought or a pleasant idea. It's the lens through which we see every opportunity, every challenge, and every moment. So let's take a journey together. Let's discover how you can alter your perspective and in doing so, transform your world, your life. Every moment of it begins with a thought. And that thought, that very first thought, shapes everything that comes after it. The way you think about your circumstances, your challenges, your future, these thoughts create the blueprint for the life you're building. If you want to change your life, it starts right here in your mind. It's simple: change your mind and you change your life. But that's not something many people understand. Too many wait for life to change before they change. They sit back, hoping for the right circumstances, waiting for the world to deliver what they want. But life doesn't work that way. It's not about waiting for things to align. It's about deciding that you will align your thoughts with the life you want to create. You are the architect of your own future. The truth is, there's nothing more powerful than a change in perspective. When you learn how to control your thoughts, you unlock the key to your success. And this is not some abstract concept, it's real. It's practical. It's the difference between someone who sits back and complains about their lot in life and someone who steps forward with purpose, determined to create their own path. You can't wait for life to hand you success, you have to take charge of it. Now, let me paint a picture for you. Imagine you're sitting in a room with a big window. On the other side, there's a storm raging, dark clouds, pouring rain, gusty winds. If all you do is stare at that window, you might convince yourself that the whole world is dark, cold, and unforgiving. The storm becomes your reality. But here's the thing, you don't have to focus on the storm. You can choose to look out of the same window and shift your focus. What if you look to the other side of the room, where there's a glimpse of sunshine breaking through the clouds? What if, in that moment, you decided to shift your focus, change your perspective, and see the world in a different way? The storm would still be there, but suddenly you'd see that there's something beautiful beyond it. That's how it works with your life. Your thoughts are the window through which you view the world. If you focus on the problems, the obstacles, the challenges, that's all you'll see. But when you change your perspective, when you decide to see the opportunities instead of the difficulties, you begin to experience life in a whole new way. The storm is still there, but now you understand that it's not the only thing in your view. You've shifted your gaze, and in doing so, you've shifted your experience. This isn't some simple shift. It's a fundamental change in how you approach life. Your thoughts are the force that shape your future. How you choose to think about your situation, your goals, and your possibilities is the first step in determining your success. You are not a passive observer in your life. You are the creator of it. Every thought you have today shapes your tomorrow. The moment you decide to change your thinking, you take the first step toward changing everything else. So let me ask you, what are you focusing on right now? Is it the storm or is it the sunshine? Are you waiting for life to change, or are you ready to change the way you see life? It all begins in your mind. The power is in your hands. And once you take control of your thoughts, you take control of your destiny. Too many people walk through life with their eyes wide open, but their minds closed. They see the same things as everyone else, yet they never see the opportunities that are right in front of them. It's as if we've all been conditioned to believe that success is something that happens by chance, a stroke of luck, or being in the right place at the right time. But the truth is, success isn't about waiting for some magic moment to happen. It's about learning to see the world differently, to recognize the opportunities that others overlook. What separates successful people from everyone else isn't some secret formula. It's their ability to change the way they see things. Think about it, every successful person you admire, from business leaders to athletes to entrepreneurs, all saw opportunities where others saw obstacles. They didn't wait for the perfect conditions, the perfect moment, or the perfect break. They saw what was possible and they acted on it. They saw the door when others saw a wall. And that's the key. The world is filled with opportunities, but the truth is we often don't see them because we're too busy focusing on our fears, our doubts, and our insecurities. When you approach life with a mindset that is conditioned by negativity or scarcity, it's hard to see anything other than problems. If all you see is the storm, then all you'll ever experience is the rain. But when you change your perspective, suddenly everything begins to shift. The same obstacles that seemed impossible to overcome become stepping stones to growth and success. The same challenges that once filled you with fear now become exciting opportunities to learn, adapt, and thrive. You see, the opportunities that others miss are often the ones that are hidden behind the veil of discomfort and uncertainty. Most people are too afraid to step outside their comfort zone, so they never take the chance to see what lies on the other side. But successful people aren't afraid to look beyond their fears. They ask themselves a simple question: what if I looked at this differently? What if I approached this with a mindset of possibility instead of limitation? And when they ask these questions, they begin to see things they never noticed before, doors that were always there, just waiting for them to open them. Ask yourself, what are you missing today? What doors are you walking past without even realizing they're there? We all have doubts, we all face setbacks, but the key to finding new opportunities is to change the way we think about those setbacks. Instead of seeing them as dead ends, start asking yourself, how can I turn this around? What's the opportunity hiding here? If you ask the right questions, your mind will start searching for the answers. It will begin to spot opportunities that were previously invisible to you. These opportunities are everywhere, but they don't always look the way we expect them to. They often come wrapped in the form of challenges, difficult conversations, or moments of discomfort. But once you learn to look beyond your initial reaction and start viewing life through the lens of possibility, you'll begin to see opportunities in places you never thought to look. So don't wait for the perfect conditions. Don't wait for luck to strike. Change your perspective and start seeing the world with fresh eyes. You might just be amazed at how many opportunities are right in front of you. Gratitude is often misunderstood as just a warm, fuzzy feeling we get when things go our way. But I'm here to tell you it's far more powerful than that. Gratitude is a perspective, a way of looking at the world that has the potential to transform every aspect of your life. It's not just about saying thank you when something good happens. It's about adopting a mindset that sees the good in everything, even in the midst of adversity. When you truly embrace gratitude, you unlock a source of happiness, success, and fulfillment that no amount of material wealth can buy. We live in a world that constantly pushes us to want more. More money, more success, more possessions, more recognition. We're taught to believe that happiness comes from achieving more, acquiring more, and constantly moving towards some elusive next thing. But let me tell you something powerful. Life isn't about having more. It's about appreciating what you already have. When you can shift your focus from what's missing to what's present in your life, everything changes. The things you once took for granted now become sources of deep appreciation. You start to see your life not as a list of things you wish were different, but as a gift that's already rich in value. Think about it for a moment. Right now, as you listen to this, you have so much to be grateful for. You have your health. Think about all the things your body does every single day, from the beating of your heart to the air you breathe. You have relationships, the people who stand by your side through thick and thin, who love you and support you. You have experiences, memories, lessons, and moments that have shaped who you are today. Sure, life may not be perfect. There are challenges and setbacks and dreams that may still be out of reach. But when you choose to focus on what you have, you begin to notice the abundance already present in your life. The things you already possess, your family, your experiences, your abilities, become the foundation upon which you can build everything else. Gratitude is a lens through which you view your entire world. And when you see through the lens of gratitude, everything changes. You stop fixating on what you don't have, and instead you begin to celebrate what you do have. It's like flipping a switch. When you stop focusing on the lack, the scarcity, and the not enough, your mind starts to see possibilities. It starts to notice opportunities, connections, and solutions that were always there, but were hidden by your previous focus on what was missing. Start small. Right now, think about 3 things you're grateful for. It could be something as simple as a good cup of coffee in the morning, a friend who's always there when you need them, or the opportunity to learn something new today. The more you practice gratitude, the more you'll see it everywhere. It's like opening a door to abundance. And when you walk through that door, you'll find that life gives you even more to be thankful for. Gratitude is the key to unlocking your potential. It's the fuel that drives your motivation, your creativity, and your resilience. When you approach life with a heart full of gratitude, you shift from a mindset of lack to one of abundance. And once you do that, you'll be amazed at how much more life has to offer. So take a moment today to appreciate what you have, because that appreciation will be the seed that grows into something far greater than you could ever imagine. Change is one of the most powerful forces in the world, yet so many people treat it like the enemy. They resist it, fear it, and fight it with all their might. Why? Because change is uncomfortable. It takes us out of our familiar routine, shakes up our sense of security, and challenges the way we've always done things. But here's the truth: change is not your enemy, it's your ally. It's the very thing that propels you forward, that forces you to grow, to evolve, and to become the best version of yourself. Life is in a constant state of flux. Look around you. The seasons change, people change, circumstances change. Nothing stays the same for long, and that's the way it's meant to be. The universe is designed to change. It's in the DNA of nature, it's in the fabric of the world around us. So why then do we resist it so much? Why do we cling so desperately to the comfort of the known even when we know it's holding us back? The answer lies in our fear. We fear what we can't control, and we fear what we don't understand. But that fear is nothing more than a barrier that stops us from seeing the incredible opportunities that change can bring. When we resist change, we rob ourselves of the chance to grow. We stay stuck in a place that no longer serves us, holding on to what is familiar because we're afraid of what might happen if we let go. But when you embrace change, when you choose to see it as an opportunity rather than an obstacle, you open yourself up to an entirely new world. Change is the force that keeps us moving forward, that pushes us out of our comfort zones and into new experiences, new possibilities. It's what forces us to become better, stronger, and more resilient. When we face change with open arms, we stop feeling like we're stuck in a never-ending battle. Life stops being a struggle against the tides of uncertainty and becomes a journey of discovery, growth, and endless potential. Think about the times in your life when change led to something incredible. Maybe it was a job you were hesitant to take at first, but once you took the leap, it opened doors you never imagined. Maybe it was a relationship that began with uncertainty, but later became one of the most important parts of your life. Maybe it was a personal challenge that you thought you couldn't overcome, but when you faced it, you found strength you never knew you had. These moments weren't just coincidences. They were the result of embracing change. They were the result of saying, yes, I'll go forward. Yes, I'll try something new. Yes, I'll see what's on the other side of this challenge. If you're feeling stuck right now, if you're frustrated with where you are in life, ask yourself this question: what can I change? Look at your situation and ask, what am I missing? How can I adjust my perspective to make the most of what's happening right now? Sometimes the most powerful change begins with a shift in mindset. It's not always about changing your circumstances. Sometimes it's about changing the way you see them. Once you begin to welcome change, life becomes less of a battle and more of an exciting journey. You stop fearing the unknown and instead you embrace it as the path to something greater. The truth is, you'll never feel truly alive until you accept that change is the key to your growth. So let go of your fear, stop resisting, and step boldly into the change that's waiting for you. You have the power to shape your future, and it begins by welcoming the changes that come your way. Life is moving forward. Are you ready to move with it? Failure. It's a word that many people fear, a word that often carries with it the weight of shame and defeat. But I want to tell you something that can change your entire outlook on life. Failure is not the end, it's a stepping stone. It's not something to fear or run from. It's something to embrace. When you change your perspective on failure, you stop seeing it as an obstacle and start seeing it for what it really is, a powerful lesson, a necessary part of your growth, and a critical step on the road to success. Every single person you look up to, every successful individual you admire has faced failure. They've stumbled, they've fallen, they've made mistakes along the way. And yet they stand where they stand today, not because they avoided failure, but because they didn't let failure stop them. They understood something that so many of us miss, that failure isn't the opposite of success, it's part of the process. The true secret to success is not in avoiding failure, but in refusing to let it define you. Think about the greatest achievements in history, whether in business, in sports, or in the arts. None of those accomplishments came without setbacks, struggles, and moments of defeat. Michael Jordan, one of the greatest basketball players to ever live, was cut from his high school team. Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, was fired from the very company he created. Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination and had no original ideas. Yet none of them allowed failure to be the end of their story. They used failure as fuel, a lesson to learn from, and a guide to improve their next step. What set them apart wasn't their lack of failure, it was their refusal to quit. When you stop fearing failure, when you start seeing it as part of the journey, you free yourself to take risks, to grow, and to move forward. It's only when you avoid failure that you stagnate. It's only when you're too afraid to fall that you never get the chance to rise. If you want to change your life, you have to change your relationship with failure. Instead of running from it, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? What does this experience teach me? How can I use this to make myself better? Every failure, no matter how big or small, holds a lesson. Maybe you learned a new skill, maybe you discovered something about yourself, or maybe you realized a better way to do things. Failure, in its truest form, is simply feedback. It tells you where you need to improve, where you need to adjust, and what you need to change. When you begin to see failure as feedback instead of defeat, you start to look at life as a series of opportunities for growth, rather than a series of risks to avoid. You are not your failures. You are the person who learns from them, grows from them, and becomes stronger because of them. Don't let failure paralyze you, let it propel you. Let it teach you, shape you, and guide you towards success. The road to success is never a straight line. It's filled with bumps, twists, turns, and yes, failures. But each failure is just another stepping stone, another lesson that leads you closer to where you want to go. So the next time you fail, because you will, we all do, don't be discouraged. Don't beat yourself up. Ask the right questions, learn the lessons, and get back up. Failure is not a setback, it's simply a part of the process. And if you embrace it, you'll find yourself on a path to success that you never thought possible. There's a powerful truth that many people overlook. You cannot control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. The moment you take full responsibility for your life, that is the moment your life begins to transform. It's a shift in mindset, a profound change in how you see yourself and your role in the world. And it's one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. Too many people walk through life blaming the world, blaming their circumstances, blaming the people around them for where they are. It's not my fault, they say. If only this hadn't happened to me. If only I had more opportunities. If only this person hadn't done that. But here's the truth: when you keep pointing the finger outward, you hand over your power to change. The moment you stop blaming others, the moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of life's circumstances, you unlock the power to change everything. Your circumstances, the place where you find yourself right now, are the result of your choices. Let me say that again: your choices. Your choices in how you think, in what you do, and in the decisions you make every single day. Yes, life throws challenges your way, things happen that are beyond your control. But how you respond to those challenges, how you choose to interpret and deal with them, is entirely within your control. The way you think about your circumstances shapes the life you create from them. If you continue to see yourself as a victim, you'll live in a world where things are always happening to you and you'll never have the power to move forward. But when you take responsibility for your life, you reclaim that power. When you take full responsibility for your life, you stop being a passenger in your own story. You stop sitting in the back seat, hoping someone else will steer the wheel. You take the wheel in your hands. You become the driver. And as the driver, you get to decide the direction in which you're headed. You get to choose what your next move will be. You get to decide the actions you'll take, the changes you'll make, and the impact you'll have. And when you shift from being a victim to being the empowered driver of your own life, everything starts to change. Taking responsibility isn't about blaming yourself for everything that's gone wrong. It's not about carrying guilt or shame. It's about recognizing that you have the power to change. No one else is going to live your life for you. No one else is going to make your decisions, face your challenges, or take your opportunities. That's all on you. And when you take responsibility for that, you start making decisions from a place of power, not from a place of fear, doubt, or defensiveness. Once you start embracing responsibility, you begin to see the world differently. You no longer look at your life as a series of unfortunate events. You start seeing each challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to change, and to take another step forward. You understand that every moment, every choice, every thought you have has the potential to move you closer to the life you want to create. So take a moment right now to look at your life. Where are you blaming others? Where are you giving away your power? Where are you still holding on to the idea that your life is controlled by something or someone else? It's time to take responsibility. The moment you do, you stop being a passenger. You become the driver, and you steer your life in the direction you want to go. The power to change your life has always been within you. It starts with the decision to take responsibility. And that decision, once made, will change everything. Take a moment and look around at the relationships in your life. What do they look like? Are they uplifting, fulfilling, and supportive, or are they draining, negative, and toxic? Your relationships, whether personal or professional, are a direct reflection of how you see the world and the people in it. How you view others shapes how they show up in your life. If you have a negative perspective, you'll attract negativity. If you look at people through a lens of mistrust or cynicism, you'll struggle to connect on a deep, meaningful level. But when you change your perspective, when you choose to see the best in people, to forgive their shortcomings, and to believe in their potential, you'll find that your relationships begin to transform in ways you never thought possible. Let's face it, relationships can be tough. People aren't perfect, and neither are we. There will always be differences, disagreements, and moments of frustration. But how you respond to those moments, how you perceive the people involved, makes all the difference. If you approach your relationships with a mindset of judgment or resentment, it's easy to get stuck in negativity. You'll focus on the flaws, the mistakes, the things you wish were different. But when you shift your perspective, when you begin to look at people through the eyes of empathy, understanding, and hope, something incredible happens. You start to see the potential in them. And you give them the space to become who they're truly capable of being. Imagine for a moment that you treat everyone around you as though they are already the person you hope they will become. What would happen? How would they respond? Most people rise to the level of expectation set for them, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you see the best in others, when you believe in their potential even before they've fully realized it, you give them the confidence and encouragement they need to grow and evolve. It's like planting a seed and nurturing it with care, patience, and love. Over time, that seed will blossom into something far greater than you could have ever imagined. This doesn't mean you turn a blind eye to people's faults or ignore toxic behavior. It doesn't mean tolerating disrespect or enabling harmful actions. It means choosing to see beyond the surface. It means choosing to see people for who they could become, not just who they are right now. It means extending forgiveness and offering the benefit of the doubt, even when it's hard. When you start practicing this kind of generosity in your relationships, you begin to attract more positivity and more of the right kind of people into your life. The energy you put into your relationships comes back to you multiplied. Your relationships reflect your perspective, and your perspective is something you can control. If you want to experience more fulfilling, supportive, and loving connections, you must first look within. Change the way you look at people. Start with the assumption that everyone has something good to offer. Start with the belief that everyone is capable of growth, change, and improvement. The more you invest in seeing the good in others, the more you'll find that goodness reflected back to you. And as your relationships transform, you'll find that your life becomes richer, more rewarding, and more fulfilling in every way. So ask yourself, what do my relationships reflect about me? If they're not where you want them to be, it's time to make a shift. Choose to change the way you view the people around you. Choose to love, support, and believe in their potential. When you do, you'll be amazed at the positive impact it has not only on them, but also on your own life. The relationships you want to have begin with the way you choose to see the people around you. So see the best in them and watch them rise to meet your expectations. If you want to change your life, if you want to transform your perspective and take control of your future, it's not enough to change the way you see the world around you. You have to change the way you see yourself. Every day, each one of us battles with a voice inside our heads. It's that harsh inner critic, the voice that tells us we're not good enough, not smart enough, not capable enough to succeed. It tells us we don't deserve the life we dream of. And if we're not careful, this voice can hold us back, keep us small, and prevent us from taking the actions that will propel us forward. But here's the truth: that voice is not the truth. It's simply a reflection of old fears, past disappointments, and negative programming that we've accumulated over time. It's the voice of doubt, insecurity, and past failures. And the real secret to changing your life is understanding that you have the power to rewrite that script. You have the power to replace those negative, limiting beliefs with empowering, positive ones. But it all starts with how you talk to yourself. The words you say to yourself, the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of, are shaping your life every single day. When you tell yourself that you're not good enough, not worthy of success, or not capable of reaching your dreams, you start to believe it. Your actions reflect those beliefs, and you begin to hold yourself back, waiting for someone else to validate your worth or your potential. But when you choose to speak words of power, when you choose to tell yourself a new story, one that says, I am capable, I am worthy, I am deserving of all the good that life has to offer, everything changes. You see, your life follows the direction of your self-talk. If your internal dialogue is filled with negativity, self-doubt, and fear, your life will reflect that. But if your inner conversation is filled with hope, confidence, and belief in your ability to create the life you want, your life will begin to shift in remarkable ways. The way you talk to yourself is the foundation of your confidence, your mindset, and your actions. It determines whether you take bold steps toward your goals or shrink back in fear. It affects your relationships, your work, and your health. When you change the way you speak to yourself, you change the way you show up in the world. Start today by paying attention to your self-talk. Notice the thoughts that go through your mind. Are they kind and supportive, or are they filled with criticism and doubt? If If you catch yourself thinking negative thoughts, gently replace them with more empowering ones. Remind yourself that you are capable of greatness, that you are worthy of success, and that every challenge you face is an opportunity to learn and grow. Speak words of power and possibility to yourself, and you'll start to see a shift not just in your perspective, but in the way the world responds to you. Remember, your thoughts shape your reality. The more you choose to believe in your own potential, the more you will unlock the doors to the life you desire. You have the power to create a new script, to rewrite the story you've been telling yourself for years. And when you do, you will begin to live a life filled with greater confidence, purpose, and success than you ever thought possible. So start today. Embrace the power of positive self-talk. Speak words of encouragement, possibility, and strength to yourself. Your future is waiting for you, and it all begins with the way you talk to yourself. Life has a way of throwing all sorts of challenges and uncertainties at us. There are so many things that are simply out of our control: other people's actions, the state of the economy, the weather, and the past, which can never be changed. Yet, despite all these external forces, here's the powerful truth: you can control how you respond. You can control how you show up in the world, how you manage your time, and most importantly, how you manage your mind. If you want to change your perspective and ultimately your life, you must focus on what you can control. It's so easy to get caught up in worrying about things that are beyond our influence. How often do we catch ourselves stressing over someone else's behavior, or becoming anxious about something that happened in the past, or losing sleep over events we have no power to change? The problem with this is simple: it's a waste of energy. Energy that could be used for growth, for progress, for doing things that truly matter. We get trapped in cycles of frustration, only to find that the things we stress over still remain unchanged, no matter how much energy we pour into them. But the good news is you can control your attitude, you can control your actions, you can control your effort. These are the levers that you have at your disposal, and when you focus on them, you regain control over your life. This is the secret to resilience and personal power: focusing on what you can change, not what you can't. When you shift your attention away from the uncontrollable and channel it into things you can do something about, you free yourself. You stop giving away your power to forces outside of your control, and you start investing your energy in areas where it actually makes a difference. Imagine for a moment how different your life would be if you spent your time and energy on things that you have the power to influence. Instead of worrying about the economy, focus on how you can improve your skills, expand your knowledge, or create opportunities for yourself. Instead of dwelling on what others think or do, focus on your own actions and the example you set. Instead of resenting the past or the mistakes you've made, focus on how you can use those lessons to create a better future. This shift in focus is incredibly liberating. It's empowering. It's the moment you realize that you don't need to control everything around you in order to make progress. You simply need to control what's within your reach: your thoughts, your behaviors, your attitude, and your response to challenges. When you do this, you'll find that life becomes less about battling against circumstances and more about taking purposeful action in areas that matter. You'll begin to feel a renewed sense of control, a sense of power over your own destiny. You have the power to take action where it counts. You have the ability to choose how you respond to the world around you. And when you focus on what you can control: your mindset, your efforts, and your actions, you will see that you're no longer at the mercy of circumstances. You'll be the one steering the ship. The energy you invest in things that matter will multiply, and you'll be amazed at how quickly your life begins to shift in the direction you want it to go. So today, ask yourself, where are you focusing your energy? Are you wasting it on things beyond your control? Or are you putting it toward the things you can change, the things that truly move you forward? When you choose to focus on what you can control, you take back your power. And that is when you'll start living the life you truly deserve. Life is a journey. Too many people spend their time fixated on the destination, chasing after that one big goal, thinking that once they reach it, all the struggles, the challenges, and the effort will finally be worth it. But here's the truth that can change everything for you. The journey itself is the reward. How you approach each day, how you tackle each challenge, and how you learn from every experience along the way is what truly matters. The destination is simply the outcome. But it's the journey that shapes you, molds you, and ultimately gives your life its meaning. You see, if you're only focused on the end goal, you risk missing out on all the richness that life has to offer along the way. Every step you take, every struggle you face, every small victory, and every lesson you learn is part of the process that turns you into the person you're meant to be. So many people make the mistake of thinking that happiness, success, and fulfillment lie only in the future, in that moment when they arrive, but the reality is you may never fully arrive at the place you think you want to be. Life is constantly changing and goals evolve. But the person you become in the process, through the struggles, the challenges, the highs and the lows, that's the true gift. We're all in such a hurry to get to the next thing, to cross the next milestone off our list. But what if, instead of racing toward the finish line, we slowed down and appreciated the path we're on? What if we stopped and noticed the lessons in every failure, the growth in every setback, the joy in every small accomplishment? So often we think the big moment is when everything will fall into place, when everything will finally be perfect. But perfection doesn't exist. Life is a series of moments, of growth, of learning, and of becoming. When you shift your perspective and start to see life as a process, not as a destination, you unlock a deeper level of fulfillment. You begin to find joy in the day-to-day, even in the struggle. You start to appreciate the challenges because you understand they're shaping you into the person you need to become in order to achieve your goals. The victories are sweeter because you know they were hard-earned. And the lessons from failure are far more valuable because they show you the way forward. I want you to think about your life right now. Now. How much time have you spent thinking that happiness is just around the corner, waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect achievement to arrive? What if happiness isn't something to be found at the end of the road, but something to be experienced right now in the process? The next time you face a setback, or a challenge, or a frustration, try to see it differently. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience make me better? And in those moments, you'll realize that the journey itself is the reward. Success, happiness, fulfillment, they're not the destination. They're the byproducts of the journey. It's the person you become along the way that makes all the difference. So I encourage you today to embrace the journey. Enjoy every part of it, the struggles, the victories, the learning, the growth. Because when you do, you will find meaning in every step you take. And in the end, that's what makes life truly worth living. If you want to change your life, change your perspective. Your perspective shapes your world, your relationships, your opportunities, and your success. But the good news is that you have the power to change it at any time. It doesn't matter where you are today. It doesn't matter how difficult life may seem. The moment you change the way you look at things, the things you look at will begin to change. The choice is yours. Will you continue seeing the world through the same lens? Or will you choose to change your perspective and, in doing so, change your life? Thank you